That was the longest mindset I've ever fit to. You know. I saw it, and the ball went, we shot and missed, and rebound, tipped it, and bounced back, and hop up overtime. And I didn't hear the horn until, you know, everybody started jumping around, so I figured it was good.
Doubt about that. They play the top teams in the country as it is, but add one more to the list, and I'm buying season tickets because this game is definitely going to be worth it. It's official. Two of the top high school football teams in the country will meet in Jefferson City this fall. The Jays will host the East St. Louis Flyers on September 20th. This battle has been talked about for a long time and will now become reality. It will be the first meeting of the two powerhouse perennial powers. The Jays, of course, have won 2 state championships in the last 3 seasons. East St. Louis had been top-ranked team in the country last season, according to USA Today. Pete Atkins' squad now has 9 games on the schedule, including 6 at home. Speaking of nationally ranked competition, the Jays basketball team is getting a big taste of Springfield's Tournament of Champions. Jim Byland's club is taking on Christ the King from New York City tonight. The first round action is in the second quarter right now. Jays trailing by 3, 17-14. And Rockbridge, a big winner over Eldon this evening. Tipton over Pilot Grove, 86-65. Girls action tonight, the red-hot Lady Wildcats of New Bloomfield entertained the Lady Comets of Fatima. Ken Walker's club has been blowing out everybody since the new year. This is point guard Cindy Brown taking it up court. She will let it fly from 3-point range, and bingo, got it to go. New Bloomfield can beat you from outside and inside. Tanya O'Neill with the strong move underneath the bucket gets the 2+1. Tanya had 18 tonight. Then moments later, back to the long-range game, Cindy Brown cranks in another trio. Cindy with 22 to lead the way. New Bloomfield goes on to another blowout, 80-45 over Fatima. The Lady Wildcats are 11-2. Other girls' scores, California moves to 13-2. The 8th-ranked Lady Pinto 65-35 winners. Russellville over Iberia. Vienna, a winner, also Tipton over Pilot Grove. High school wrestling tonight. New Bloomfield now. The bad Wildcats, of course, friends to the west in Kansas State. Well, it's been a rough road for the Tigers this season. Mizzou finished off its regular season road work tonight in Manhattan, Kansas. The Tigers came in 2-7 away from the Hearn Center. Norm Stewart's club, though, trying to get a little momentum before the conference tournament, taking on the struggling Wildcats of Kansas State. Anthony Peeler hits the trio early. Tigers led it 31-19 in full control. Wildcats, though, would claw back in it. Gene Delaware answers with the 3. Mizzou's lead 41-36 at halftime. A tremendous night for Chris Heller. The Tiger forward hit a career-high 18 points, 12 of them in the first half. And another solid effort from Doug Smith. Nice drive to the left side. 3-point play for Doug as the Tigers won it 84-75 in Manhattan. Tigers go to 15-10 on the year. Next up, Colorado at home on Saturday. Great Big 8 matchup in Stillwater. Eddie Sutton and the 12th-ranked Oklahoma State Ball Club played host to number 15, Nebraska. Huskers in red, the big guy, Rich King. Triple team, still puts it in for the 3-point play. The Cowpokes, Cornell Hatcher goes to John Potter for the Slammaroo and 2. OSU would pull away down the stretch, taking an 11-point win, moving into first-place tie in the Big 8 with Kansas at 10-3. The Cowpokes won it 80-69. Oklahoma edged Colorado by a single point. Other college scores, Duke, no trouble with Clemson. LSU over Florida. It was Connecticut in overtime over Seton Hall. Mississippi State a winner. And our bonus score, CW Post by 6 over Malloy. A big night for several mid-Missouri small school basketball sectionals taking place with the winners just one step away from the Final Four. Both New Bloomfield high school teams went up against a pair of Harrisburg squads down at Jefferson City High School. Ken Walker and company handed Harrisburg a loss earlier this season at 25-1. That's their only loss. The Lady Bulldogs, though, looked tough early. Tara Hallerow with 2 of her 11 points. Back the other way, New Bloomfield inside to Tanya O'Neill. Tanya with 15 tonight. The Wildcats faithful went crazy. New Bloomfield led it 45-42. Lori Locke would lock it up down the stretch along with Cindy Brown. Free throws down the stretch would win it. The final 51-42. A great New Bloomfield celebration as the Lady Wildcats advanced to the state 1A quarterfinals. Same two teams met on the boys' side. Rodney Haley's club never had made it this far before, but they are going even farther this year. Jody Davis launching in the three-pointer. Bingo. Harrisburg went inside. Roger Davison, the drive, gets the ball to roll in. The Wildcats, though, scrapping tonight on the hardwood. Jake Custard will take the dish over to Davis. Another great contest. New Bloomfield won it 92-90 over Harrisburg. Both Wildcat teams advanced to play in Columbia on Saturday. And traveling north to Fayette tonight, another Central Missouri sectional battle in Class 2A. Jerry Bisher's South Callaway Bulldogs up against Hallsville in a colorful night in Fayette. The Dogs in the darkest uniforms. Junior Chris Gray launching in the three-pointer. South Callaway with more help from senior Craig Sullivan knocked in the 18-footer. But this would be the end of a fine season for South Callaway. Matt Pemberton puts it in for Hallsville. The Indians won a low-scoring game 38-32. Other postseason play, Eugene, a heartbreaker of an overtime loser to Sherwood by 6. It was Tipton losing to Holden. Class 1A sectional, Smithton losing to Montrose. And Osage over Camdenton in district play. They will meet Fulton, who edged Helias on a last-second shot by David Sanderson. And that title game on Friday at 8. Other scores, boys, Vienna over Hartville and Owensville. The girls defeat Richland 68-38. What a great year it's been for a pair of mid-Missouri college teams. The Columbia College Cougars last night captured their first ever Show Me Conference championship, while the William Woods Owls have moved just one step away from their first ever trip to the national tournament. Roger Turnus and company upset the district's top seed, William Jewell, last night, moving to 27-4 on the year. The Lady Owls will now meet Rockhurst for the women's NAIA district title tomorrow night on the road.
Played real good basketball. We've done it mostly with Callaway County kids and mid-Missouri kids, and they're playing extremely well right now, and we're looking forward to taking on Rockhurst in the championship game tomorrow.
Good luck to William Woods. Finally, quick smithereen for you. The most painful move to the basket this week. Cleveland's Brad Doherty going for the slam. He gets snuffed, and then the ball will go boing off of his face. Look at that. Not once, but twice and 3 times boing on his face on the smithereen. Tough night under the basket.
Insult to injury. That's what you say. But Simmons Field, we'll get to it. After splitting a doubleheader yesterday, the Missouri Tigers baseball team entered today's game with Iowa hoping to earn a win their first series of this young year. We'll take a look at the highlights at Simmons Field. A light breeze blowing out from the outfield, and it wasn't very warm at all. There's Mike Bradley of the Hawkeyes. He singles to right, brings in a run. Now Missouri's on top 4-1 after 2.5 innings. Bottom of 3, and the floodgates open. Number 32. Jamie Phillip, a single to right, scores Mark Adair and John Hay 6-2. Tigers on top in the bottom of 3. Still, bottom of 3, a new pitcher and a new batter, Bill Mondrella. And this one, kind of a bluff play out in the right field. That scores a couple of more. A 6-run third inning for the Tigers. And Missouri goes on to their third win of the year, 13-2 over the Hawkeyes. The Tigers are now 3-1 in this young season. Well, the Big 8's top wrestlers are here in Columbia today. The Big 8 Wrestling Championships at the Hearn Center will pick it up in the consolation round. Here's Greg Warren at 158 pounds for Missouri. He will take on Aaron Hare of Oklahoma. Warren wins that one by major decision, 11-3. Now we move on to 167. Sean Fry of Missouri taking on Jason Leonard of Oklahoma. Fry wins this one by a decision, 6-4. They both moved on to the third place matches, and they both lost. Unfortunately, we don't have team results. We should have those tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. When Iowa State upset 12th ranked Oklahoma State yesterday, the Big 8 basketball title went to Kansas. Jayhawks looked for the exclamation mark today as they took on Nebraska. Roy Williams looking for one more win, but Bo Reed has something to do about it. Jam time in 47-41, Nebraska up by 6. Though Kansas staying close, passing around, cross to Adonis Jordan. He cans the tray. Still Nebraska on top by 1, 65-64. Huskers coming out strong as they show they are the 15th ranked team in the nation. Huskers Eric Petkowski with the layup, and Nebraska goes on to upset number 10 Kansas 85-75. Still Kansas is the number 1 team in the Big 8. Southwest Conference action, it's third-ranked Arkansas and the Longhorns of Texas. A long day for Nolan Richardson as the Longhorns gets the hoop and the foul. Things not going very well at all. As we watch here, Texas with the free throw. Intercepted by the Longhorns. Bidford Williams puts it up and in for a couple. Let's take a look at the scoreboard, and we see that the third-ranked Hogs from Arkansas upset 99-86 the hands of the Longhorns. Elsewhere, Ohio State wins by 1 over Michigan State. Duke over North Carolina, 83-77. Syracuse over Georgetown. UCLA upset by Washington, 86-68. And East Tennessee State, no problem with Appalachian State, 101-82. A couple of women's softball scores for you. The Lady Tigers are in Texas. They fall in Game 1 today to Texas A&M 2-1, and they defeat Sam Houston State in Game 2, 6-4. The Columbia College Cougars survived their road trip to Jefferson City last night. Opening round action of the NAIA District 16 tournament put Columbia against Missouri Valley College. Lots of offense in this one. Marvin Malone led all scores with 30 points for the Cougars. The senior guard led Columbia to a 115-106 win over the Vikings last night. The Cougars advanced to the second round of the district tournament.
I thought both teams got up and down the floor real well and scored a lot of points, obviously. It was extremely competitive and, you know, very much like a playoff game should be. You know, both teams went at each other hard, and it wasn't much of a defensive battle, but we got the ball in the hole, and we're excited about getting into the second round.
Columbia College takes on College of the Ozarks tomorrow night at Rockbridge High School in second round action. No brotherly love for the McEnroes. John McEnroe and his little brother Pat squaring off at the men's indoor tennis tournament in Chicago. One McEnroe's going to have to win this one, folks. Let's take a look. And who's Dad rooting for? Well, I guess only Mom will know that answer. 32-year-old John serving through his 24-year-old brother Pat, and a nice return here by John, and he gets the win in the first set. Patrick, though, serving match point coming up here, and John converts the service in a nice passing shot. And John defeats little brother Patrick as Dad claps, 6-3, 7-6, 7-6. That's the 77th tourney win for John McEnroe. And finally, as the high school basketball season winds down, the Lady Wildcats of New Bloomfield are heating up. With last night's win over Green City, the Lady Wildcats advanced to the state semifinal. And tonight's Athlete of the Week will meet 2 players who helped them get there.
As they have all season long, New Bloomfield's Tanya O'Neill and Cindy Brown combined their efforts for a Lady Wildcat win. O'Neill is the senior center. She dished in 13 points last night. Brown, the senior guard, added 19 as New Bloomfield moves on to the semis.
Well, you know, we try to tell them that, you know, Cindy's the outside shooter and Tanya's supposed to be the awesome side. And what we try to do is just tell them that, you know, that if they don't do their job, they're not going to win.
These two seniors combined for a 34-point season average, helping New Bloomfield to a 25-3 record and yet another postseason appearance.
Well, last year we had a senior, Sheila Ashby, and I was forward, and I liked that better. But this year, playing, you know, post and center, it's a lot of fun.
Sometimes it is, on and off. Sometimes I get hot, sometimes I'm cold, can't hit anything. But I guess that's right for everybody. So.
O'Neill and Brown have known each other since a young age. Their friendship converts into success on the basketball court.
Oh, yeah, because we know what each other's going to do most times, you know. We know all the plays real good and stuff. So.
Well, you know, it has to help, but again, sometimes, you know, if somebody's got a bad habit, then you know it too. And the thing is that they have to always play under control and always play teamwork.
Our new Scene 13 co-athletes of the week are New Bloomfield's Tanya O'Neill and Cindy Brown.
Along with the rest of the Lady Wildcats making a trip down to Springfield for the semifinals.
Okay, sounds good. Up next, the home front celebration of the end to the Gulf War. Stay with us.
This basket at the buzzer puts Harrisburg up by 3. Both teams came out strong, though, after the half. And this game kept everybody on the edge of their seat, but the Wildcats came back, and they beat the Bulldogs 52-41.
Let's really play hard. We're little, and
we always like to warm up like this.
And the Harrisburg boys would try to come back and get a little revenge over the girls' loss, but that wouldn't happen. Watch Brian Phillips here. Whoops, misses the ball, but he hands off to Greg Cottle inside. And Greg Cottle goes up and gets the basket. But this game would prove to be a nail-biter as New Bloomfield nipped by Harrisburg 92-90. Shelley Miller, News Center.
And company handed.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's just really, you know, nice if you go something like this. You know, when you get ready to play for a postseason, people really go out and support you.
And they are fantastic in New Bloomfield. Also, a little correction there, that was Northern Iowa.
Took right from the very start of district tournament, and that's one game at a time. So, you know, every step we can take, that'll help us have a better season. But right now we've got a big one coming up Saturday, so that's all we're looking at right now.
And the New Bloomfield boys will meet Keatsville Saturday night, 8:45 at the Hearn Center in Columbia. The girls precede that contest at 7 o'clock, taking on Green City. And what a day for
tonight. In the give, coming up here to number 10, Cindy Brown. She shoots from the outside. That's 2 of her 19 points on the night. And the New Bloomfield Lady Wildcats go on to win 53-46. To the boys action, which is taking place right now at the Hearn Center boys action with New Bloomfield and Keatsville. Here we go. And this is first half action. Greg Cottle finding the ball, and he fights for that 2 points. The Tigers of Keatsville coming here on the offense. Number 11, Doug Fellers drives. A nice bucket by Doug, and they are in progress right now up at the Hearn Center. No report on that one as yet. Here we have some girls' scores. New Bloomfield over Green City. In Class 2A, Palmyra over Centralia, 74-42. Vienna and Forsyth are underway in Springfield, and also Palmyra and Hallsville. Palmyra wins that one, 73-65. The St. Louis Blues opened a 3-game road trip tonight in Philadelphia. It's the Blues and the Flyers from the Spectrum. We'll take a look. Tonight's Athlete of the Week will meet 2 players who help them get there.
Wildcat spirit. For the first time in the school's history, both the boys and girls basketball teams are going to the 1A Final Four semifinals. That's pretty impressive since there are 187 schools in 1A, and now there are only 4 teams left. The school gave these brave athletes a big send-off as they head to Springfield for the big games.
That's a lot of fun. Let's put a good show in here. Hustle, stay alert, and just play good team ball.
Oh, I don't know. Everybody's behind us. It's just excitement everywhere you go, it looks like.
Well, I think it's boosted the town's morale quite a bit. I think everybody's excited about going. I don't know if there'll be anybody left in New Bloomfield come weekend or not.
The Final Four is a lot more than just a couple of basketball games to the town of New Bloomfield. It's brought a sense of pride and community unity. Sports are important, but the people here support the entire school program.
It means a lot more to the community, means a lot more to the student body, as well as the athletes participating. Yes, it certainly is a lot more than just a basketball game to us.
Both the girls and boys take on Scott County Central, a team from the Boot Hill area. No matter what happens, the Wildcat tradition goes on. In New Bloomfield, Mark Slavitt.
To a 54-49 victory over Malta Bend. And I tell you what, Mike got a little bit bad news.
Action tonight in boys 3A OCA.
Third in the state. It's the 4th time for a top 4 finish for the Lady Wildcats. The first time ever for the boys.
Really, we just took it one step at a time and played real well toward the end of the year, and we were fortunate enough to get there and come home with 3rd place trophy, and we're really proud about that.
Not too many people expected it, but did you inside think that maybe you had a chance?
Yes, I really did. I had these seniors. They're all seniors. I had these girls for about 5 years, and we never did really play up to our potential, but they always seem to get together when it counts.
Congrats to both Wildcat teams on 3rd place finishes. Now all eyes are turning to
each other to go up to the plate and try to run if we could.
Great win.
Well, there are the Wildcats, Class 1A state champions, and now out of uniform. Rod, here, Rod, congratulations. For memories that you'll keep for a long time.
There's no doubt about it. That was just a real great game. It's too bad somebody had to come out a loser, and I'm just glad we were with the win there.
Yeah, better Holcomb than New Bloomfield, I guess. And what a game it was. Both teams had chances to win. Both teams certainly had their chances to lose, seemed to be on the ropes. But you prevailed in the best game that I saw all weekend, and really the best high school overall this season, in terms of well played, close, and obviously two good teams going for something important.
I just thought the intensity in the ballgame by both teams. You know, both teams played so hard, and both teams played very good defense. I thought there were several big plays made, and offensively, you know, I felt like our hitters did a good job. The kid was throwing, Wilson kid was throwing real hard out there. I thought we did a good job putting the ball in play, but they made some big plays to stop. Finally, we were able to get three hits in a row in that last inning and come away with a win.
Chris Wilson, the Holcomb pitcher, throwing 86 miles an hour, certainly got the attention of Missouri's coaching staff on hand there at that ball game. But your team comes through, and that game, I guess, is the epitome of a championship game, though, especially as long as you win. That is something that you can be awfully proud of, getting a result against a top-quality opponent like Holcomb. What is now your third?
Well, that's true. You know, the part of it being a state championship game, and you know, being able to defeat a good pitcher like that, and come away with a state championship again was, you know, it was really exciting for our program and for our seniors this year and for everybody involved with it.
Got a great class of seniors, and boy, these guys know how to win. 2 state in the last 3 years and 3 in the last 6. What's going on there at New Bloomfield, Rod?
Well, you know, I think I look back at 1985, and it was the team that first made it to the Final Four. And the year before, that was the main goal of the team that we had was to get to the Final Four, and we didn't make it out of districts. And that team came back very hungry, and we had a lot of juniors the year before, and they were seniors the next year, and they kind of got things started. And since then, you know, once you get there and you get the feel of being there, then especially we've always had, you know, some younger players that were getting playing time. And again, this year we had a lot of juniors and sophomores and even a freshman that got a lot of playing time. So I think, you know, that, you know, it makes them want to go back a little bit, and they realize they have to work hard for it.
And they should know, not just from baseball, but in basketball, some of these kids, Brian Phillips, Greg Caudle, among others on the state basketball team that went to the Final Four in Springfield. So you were the head coach of that team. You had a heck of a year, didn't you? Kind of spoiled there, I think.
Well, you know, it'd be nice to put this one in where you could just have it every year, because it's going to be hard to come back after this one and to have that kind of success again. But we did have really outstanding leaders in that senior class. Greg Caudle and Jay Custer, Brian Phillips and Jody Davis started, you know, both on the baseball and the basketball teams. And then Mark Baxter, I don't want to leave him out because he, you know, is a great team player for us, and you know, in the baseball and basketball. And then Travis Besson was a basketball player. But the seniors provided a lot of leadership for us this year, and usually I think that's the key to a successful team.
We'll look at some of the video here in the next few moments of the games that you played this week. Of course, winning over Billings, the defending state champion from last year, and then defeating Holcomb in the state title game. And you mentioned some of the kids. Greg Caudle, a great leader, of course, the catcher on the ball club. And Jerry Jordan, we're seeing there around the bases. Brian Phillips, 44, coming in. You had a good nucleus of senior ball players.
Well, we did, and Jordan is just a junior, and he was the leading hitter for us this year and really had a big season. He broke the home run record at New Bloomfield. He had 12 this year, and he had around 40 RBIs. I'm not sure what it ended up with, and over 400 batting average, so he really had a tremendous season for us. That was Caudle hitting the sacrifice fly. He's a guy that you're going to miss and will probably play somewhere in college. Yes, he's going to play somewhere. We're not exactly sure right now where, but I think probably 4 of the guys that started have a good chance of playing some college ball, and so I hope they will, because I think they can do a good job. Hey, your defense was good, which is saying something, because I tell you what, in watching the games, quite frankly, for state high school baseball, the play in the field by some of these teams, in bigger classes particularly, was pathetic. But your team knew what it was doing in the field, really made some nice plays defensively. I was real pleased with our defense, and we took infield before the semifinal game, and it was pathetic. We booted balls and got 2 people hurt taking infield, and I was kind of concerned. I really thought we had the jitters, but once the game started, we had 1 error and other than that, everything went pretty well. So I thought the defense was a big key for us.
I was being honest with you. Paul Tukey and Dan Cavanaugh from our staff were out there watching the warm-ups, and I showed up late after the game started, and they looked at me and they said, I don't understand this. New Bloomfield does not look very good in the warm-ups. And Paul says, if this is any indication of how they play defense, we're in for a long night. But sure enough, game time, crunch time comes, and you guys played very good defense. So that was, I guess, just pregame jitters, and you proved us wrong and proved you were state champs.
I don't know really what happened in that pregame warm-up, but it was pretty sad, really. And I know the Billings fans loved it. They were, they enjoyed it a lot, and I guess they were probably licking their chops at that time. And I was really concerned too, because sometimes that carries over. And when the game started, it didn't carry over at all. We went out and played good defense. And, once you make the first play, I think that kind of gives everybody a feeling of confidence.
You play a good schedule this season, go out and play a lot of the bigger schools in mid-Missouri, which is a very strong baseball area over the last few years, in the bigger classifications as well as yours. I would think that helps the New Bloomfield along the way.
I think that's a really important part. And it's, I really don't care what size school it is. We like to play the best teams that we can play. And around the mid-Missouri area, there's a lot of good baseball played. And we've got Fultons and Hickmans, and Fatima this year made it, and there's South Callaways and Eugene. There's a lot of good schools around. I know I'm leaving people out, but we had a very competitive schedule, and when we started district tournament, we were beating people by 10-run rule, and that hadn't really happened all year long. Every game had been a really competitive game for us.
School of a little more than, I guess, 100 people in a town of about 530 or so folks, but by golly, you can field 9 good baseball players, even more supporting them.
We had more than 9 good players this year, and we had some people sitting on the bench that were very good ball players, and that's just, that's a good problem to have, but sometimes playing time was limited for some people that I'm sure wanted more. But I think another key that, carried over from basketball this year was that the guys really pulled together as a team, and that really made a lot of difference, I think, because you don't need that turmoil going on, because that always hurts a team, and we didn't have that this year, and I think it had a lot to do with our success.
Well, I know you like it at New Bloomfield. With all the success you've had, you probably run for mayor in the town and win. But you like where you're at? Do you ever think about advancing on to bigger schools or bigger levels? I'm sure you've had chances with all the winning you've done there.
Well, I've looked at a couple of college positions and everything, but that really hasn't materialized with. A lot of times the pay is not what you would think it would be, and but really I enjoy a small school, high school level. I went to a small high school, and I kind of enjoy the close relationship you get with the kids and the community and everything. But I can't really say I've looked around very much now.
All righty. Well, hey, congratulations again. You made us all very proud here in Central Missouri with another state championship, and we just expect to see you back at Siemens Field next year, Rod.
Well, we're going to try.
I bet you will. I wouldn't be surprised to see you there again. Rod, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All righty. Rod Haley, the head baseball coach at New Bloomfield High School, the state champion Wildcats with a 1A title. He did a great job. Again, 3rd time in 6 years they've won state. We'll continue with an open line on Sportsline right after this.
Great, Gil, good.
Come here. Get up there. Three-quarters. Driver. Help her. Deny. Play D. Driver. Get off. Deny it. Get off of her. Get it? Say, come on, play defense. Catch her. Man, get him. Two guard front. Look! Out here. Go down, 3 down. Look at her. There she is! Time out, Drake. Down, there it is. Good job. Zone, 2 and 2. What do you see? Look. There it is. Get it! Hurry! Yeah, you throw that in the middle. Get in your guard. Set it up, AC, set it up. Get up here, Angie. Second for Angie. Set it up. You take it out. Took Lloyd's spot, didn't you?
You're not back. You're over here. Man to man, man to man. Deny, deny. Susie, get it for Tina. Brown, get it for Angie. You do that. Look, come on, be here. Go, get it go. Get down, get down. Two. Horn. There, drive it now. One. Jill, you're back now, Jill. Two, right there. Susie, you're back. Right there, no, right now. You ready? Deny it. Deny it in. Get him. Get it. Look. Down. Hurry. Down. One. Go on, hit it. Hey, don't go behind her. You'll get back to your spot. And you get up to Susie. Preston, now you know what you're doing. You're back. Keep on. Look. Hey, don't reach. Can you? Two. You gotta shoot that ball too. You shouldn't stop it like that. Well, they in. Call it somebody. Good job. Get down quick. Get two good foot, take high post. Had to know all of them. Lightning. Denied. Don't foul. Back off. Not denied. Denied. One. Helper. Good shot. Not trapped. Cindy, come here. And then you do what? Come here. Cindy. You're getting too close to you. You gotta get off and let us run around. Ronda, watch your pass. Krishan. Stack, stack. Krishan, straight up. Krishan, you're the shooter. You're number 3. Cindy, come here. You're turning yourself in the room. Go. Look at her. Look. Set up. Get up right now. You get her. Get in front of you. Get over and get her, right? Three. Go. Go middle. Where you going? Round up. 4. 2 guard front. Let's go, get a zone, big team. 3. Cindy, go right, take it out.
Angie, take it out.
Angie. All right, run it. 2, 3.
Brady, new one.
Look. She's open. I know it. She's open. It is. Put it over there. Andy, come here. You take her place. You take her place. It's not that hard to do. Come on, you let it. Hey, you make it press on, don't foul. Hurry, hurry. Look, get out of here, come on. Get off of her. Now get over, beat her over. Right-handed. Find your man. I think now. Help her. Back. Back 4. Play defense out. Run your offense. Shield. Now get it. Ball up. Good job. Get home. Get it. Look. Get a girl. 3. Get a zone. Hold it out.
the girl behind you like that. Should have scored, not then.
Play smart. Amen. Breathe. Run your outfit. Jill. Go. Clark. Look. Susie. Clark. Susie. Clark. Bring down. Clark. Down. 2 guard front. Brad, you good. The other side. Now wait a minute. Lori. Run your offense. 3 down. Good. Do it again. Come on. Andy. Let me drive. Driver. Two guards. Hey, you're on the outside, Run the outside. Go there, Randy. Ready. Time out. Lane brain. Set up. Left. Go. Go. Do it again. Two. don't know if I had to lay up and you're out there stuck the ball half court. 2.
Yeah.
That ball bounced from right here to here. You're sitting out there looking at the ball. Stay back, stay back. John, stay back. Back, Jonty, your guard. Center. Hold it. Look.
My dad, Mom was
Two. Ginger, you're forward. Go 2. Shanti, you know what you're doing? Ginger, you know what you're doing? Two, get the lane, stay in the lane. Back up, back up. Hey. Back. Andy, back up. Andy. Get rid of it. Where you going, Lori? Nope. Laura, get in for Susan. Good point guard. Get in there, Keller. Good ball. Laura, your point guard. Lower down. 2. Back up. Nicole, you're forward. 3. Ginger, to your side, on your side. Get over it. Shine on the other side. There it is. Move now, move, trying to move the ball. Post up, in front of her. Run your offense. You gotta shoot it. 4, get rid of it. Shoot it. Watch now. Help each other. Back off. Back off, Brandy. Back off, Brandy. Look. Hey, big team. 3. Half court. Go this way. Get away from her. I'll get her. Denied. Denied.
I can see the name.
That is